Welcome to the explainer. Most of us think human beings are hardwired to run away from fear. Survival of the fittest.
Which makes total sense, like nobody actively wants to be in danger.
Right, but if that's actually true, why are there millions of people who literally hit the gas pedal and drive straight into a pitch-black supercell tornado?
Wait, that's actually crazy. I just don't buy that. You're telling me we go back to absolute chaos on purpose? That goes against basic biology.
That is the exact question we're unpacking. Because whether it's literal storm chasers, guys jumping out of airplanes, or just you staying in an incredibly painful, chaotic relationship, fear creates a massive biological draw. We don't just run from it, we actively crave it.
But how? How on earth does your brain justify wanting to be absolutely terrified?
It doesn't. It bypasses logic because of one specific thing: total attention. When you are terrified, your brain shifts gears completely. Adrenaline floods your system, time slows down. In that split second, you aren't worried about your mortgage, your boss, or that awkward thing you said 5 years ago.
Oh, right, because fear literally forces you into the immediate present. You don't have a choice.
Exactly. It drops everything down to zero. Zero notifications, zero deadlines, zero overthinking.
Okay, wait, thinking about it. Say you are completely overwhelmed with daily stress, right? And suddenly your car gets a flat tire on a busy, high-speed highway. It sounds messed up, but that literal crisis is almost a break. You physically cannot worry about a passive-aggressive email from your coworker when you are just trying not to get completely flattened by a semi-truck. The emergency becomes this weird, twisted kind of peace.
You hit the nail on the head. Extreme environment researchers have actually documented this. They found that the closer people move towards something massive and overwhelming, the more alive they feel. Yeah, think about standing quietly right at the very edge of a massive 1,000-foot cliff. You look down, and it isn't panic you're feeling. It's silence. It is absolute hyper-focused silence.
Which brings us to the neuroscience of relief and how your brain's reward system gets hijacked. Because the magic doesn't actually happen during the panic itself. Your heart rate spikes, sure, but the real chemical hook, that hits when the danger finally passes. It creates a ridiculous behavioral reward loop. Step 1 is fear. Step 2, you survive it. Step 3 is a massive, intoxicating wave of relief. Your brain dumps dopamine and screams, "We lived!" That relief feels incredibly powerful.
Okay, but here's the thing. Isn't that just people being totally dysfunctional? Like your friend who texts their toxic ex at 2 a.m. or deliberately picks massive fights over loading the dishwasher wrong? They aren't looking for relief, man. They just love the drama.
No, see, they are looking for the relief. It's an intensity substitute. People aren't chasing the actual suffering or the argument itself. They are chasing the intense emotional swing, because feeling something intensely simply feels infinitely better than feeling absolutely nothing.
Wow, okay, that hits a little too close to home. That is literally my habit of binging terrifying horror movies on a random Tuesday night. I am totally safe on my couch, eating popcorn, but I'm deliberately tricking my nervous system into a life-or-death rush just to feel a pulse.
And that brings us to the root of the entire problem: your boring modern life. The dark truth is, our evolutionary brain simply was not built for a predictable, climate-controlled existence where you just sit in a dark apartment doom-scrolling on a glowing screen all night.
For hundreds of thousands of years, our brains evolved to handle real physical survival consequences. But today, the modern world is just too predictable. It's too controlled. It's too boring.
See, I don't even think it's just that life is too safe. I think we are completely numb. We don't have literal saber-toothed tigers chasing us anymore, so our survival-wired brains start glitching out. If we don't have a real physical problem to fight, our brain literally starts hallucinating threats just to give us a job to do.
Exactly. It malfunctions and starts creating substitutes. Endless outrage, relationship drama, taking totally unnecessary risks, blowing up your routine. Hold on, so you're saying if I get into massive internet arguments or wrap myself up in daily Twitter outrage, that's not actually me standing up for my core beliefs? That's just my brain acting like a storm chaser? 100%. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a Category 5 hurricane and a viral rage-inducing tweet. It just knows your heart rate is up, you're in the moment, and you finally feel alive. But here is where this dark psychology really traps you. It's what we call the tolerance trap. It's an escalating intensity. When you constantly use these intense, chaotic substitutes to feel alive, your baseline shifts. The threshold for feeling normal just keeps getting higher and higher, until eventually normal everyday life stops working entirely. The mundane becomes literally unbearable. Imagine a chaotic, spiking heart monitor just flatlining into a perfectly straight, boring line. When you are addicted to chaos, peace starts to feel exactly like emptiness. Calm actually feels like a threat. Wait, so you're saying this isn't just a bad habit of, exploring different edgy experiences? It's a literal emotional dependency. Wow. That completely explains people who self-sabotage perfectly healthy, loving relationships. Like, everything is going great, but a quiet evening watching TV feels too quiet. So they manufacture a total crisis out of nowhere just to feel a spark. They are completely dependent on the emotional extreme. And that brings us to the crucial point of this explainer, the exact question you have to ask yourself right now. If feeling alive starts requiring bigger storms, deeper crises, and louder chaos, you have to stop and ask, am I chasing meaning
Or am I just addicted to the intensity? Because if peace feels empty to you, maybe the problem isn't that life is too quiet. Maybe you just forgot how to hear it.
Man, not every storm lives in the sky. You might want to screenshot that, because we all have some serious inner weather to figure out. See you on the next one.